Hello and welcome to Untwisted Threads. In today's video, we're so excited to share some new knitting patterns with you that were released last month in March. While we'd love to be able to include all of the knitting patterns released in March, these are just a few that stood out to us. So before we jump in, if you like free knitting patterns and want to feel 6 samples of yarn every single month, consider supporting us on Patreon. As a bonus, you'll get your first months for free. The link is in the description. Back to the patterns, today's list includes 10 patterns of all skill levels and yarn weights and are in no particular order. So let's get started. The first pattern is the Mara Cardigan by Brianna Mason. It comes in 10 sizes with finished bust measurements ranging from 35 3/4 to 70 1/4 inches when buttoned and recommends 8 inches of positive ease. It suggests using a US 3, 4, and 6 or 3 1/4, 3 1/2, and 4 millimeter needle size and 2 strands of fingering or a single strand of DK weight yarn to meet gauge. This is a classic button front raglan cardigan in a simple garter rib texture with a relaxed fit, polished button band, and balloon sleeves. It is worked flat, top down, and seamlessly. Circular needles are used to work flat, beginning with the yoke that is shaped with raglan increases while working the 1x2 broken rib pattern. The yoke is then divided and the sleeve stitches are placed on hold while the body is worked and finished with a 1x1 rib, then bound off. The sleeves are knit from the top down in the round with decreases and are finished off with a 1x1 ribbing. Then a double knit button band is worked around the entire cardigan opening. The second pattern is the Evie Hood by Woozy by Celine. It comes in one size with finished measurements of 19 1/4 inches in circumference and 13 1/2 inches in length, including the double knitted border. It suggests using a US 2 1/2 and 6 or 3 and 4 millimeter needle size and a strand of lace and a strand of fingering weight yarn held together or a single strand of DK weight yarn to meet gauge. It's a simple hood with a textured stitch throughout and a clean double knitted edge. It is worked flat, bottom up. Stitches for the neck are cast on and the body of the hood is knit in one piece. For head and crown decreases, the stitches are split so that right and left panels can be worked separately then seamed together. The back of the head is also seamed shut. Finally, double knitting is used to create the ties, face, and neck edging. The third pattern is the Fungus Shawl Cardigan by Refined Knitwear. It comes in 7 sizes with finished measurements of 19 to 25 inches wide from armhole to armhole, since the chest width is flexible due to the ties and recommends 10 to 14 inches of positive ease. It suggests using a US 4 and 7 or 3 1/2 and 4 1/2 millimeter needle size and 3 strands of lace or 1 strand of DK weight yarn to meet gauge in the moss stitch. It is a blend of a bolero, cardigan, and a shawl. It's knitted together under each sleeve like a bolero, but it's been given some length to function as a cardigan. It features a wide ribbed edge along the neckline and down the fronts and a beautiful double height moss stitch pattern. The cardigan begins with a ribbed edge that runs along the neck. Stitches for the yoke are picked up on this edge and the rest of the edge is continued while simultaneously knitting the yoke, fronts, and body. The fourth pattern is the Diamond Shawl by the Spanish Stitcher. It comes in one size with finished measurements of 57 inches wide and 30 inches in height. It suggests using a US 6 or 4 millimeter needle size and a DK weight yarn to meet gauge in stockinette. This triangular shaped shawl recommends 5 different colors, 1 color for the main section and 4 colors for the feather and fan wave lace design along the bottom edge. The fifth pattern is the Cynthia Cardigan by Gregoria Fibers. It comes in 8 sizes with finished bust measurements ranging from 35 3/4 to 56 1/4 inches and recommends 3 1/4 inches of positive ease. It suggests using a 3, 4, 5, and 6 millimeter needle size and 1 strand of worsted and 1 strand of lace held together or 1 strand of worsted weight yarn to meet gauge. It's a simple, versatile cardigan that could match with almost anything. The main features include fitted shoulders, a classic fit, minimal round neck, and crochet buttons. It is worked top down. First, the back yoke is worked flat, shaped with increases. The fronts are done separately before picking up and knitting the sleeve stitches along the shoulders. At this point, the yoke and sleeves are shaped using the contiguous method. The sleeves are worked seamlessly in the round. The button bands and neck are worked by picking up stitches, and the buttons are crocheted. The sixth pattern is the Amarta vest by Red JK Design. It comes in 9 sizes with finished bust measurements ranging from 33¼ to 64½ inches and recommends 6 inches of positive ease. It suggests using a US 4 and 6 or 3½ and 4½ millimeter needle size and a DK weight yarn to meet gauge. It's a sleeveless top with modern minimalist design. Knitted seamlessly from the top down using simple stockinette stitches with slip stitch detailing along the edges and sides for a subtle texture and visual interest. This versatile vest features a V neckline, clean I-cord edges, and the option of the closures using I-cord ties, buttons, or simply leaving it open as a vest. You could knit it in plant-based fibers like the sample as a summer top, or use wool and layer it with a long sleeve for added warmth in the winter. The 7th pattern is the Pistachio Sweater by Pia Andren. It comes in 6 sizes from 2 extra small to 2 extra large and appears to include positive ease. It suggests using a US 6 and 7 or 4 and 4½ millimeter needle size and an Aran weight yarn to meet gauge. It's a 4-color garment worked in the round from the top down. You'll work short rows below the collar for a better fit, but if preferred, you can skip them and go straight into the colorwork section of the yoke. The 8th pattern is the Caraman Sweater by Coco Amore. It comes in 11 sizes with finished bust measurements ranging from 37 to 66 inches and recommends 7 inches of positive ease. It suggests using a US 6 and 7 or 4 and 4½ millimeter needle size and 1 strand of DK and 1 strand of lace held together or 1 strand of worsted weight yarn to meet gauge. It's a cozy, oversized sweater worked from the top down in reversed half fisherman's rib. First, the back is worked back and forth with increases on either side. Stitches are then picked up along the back yoke to form each shoulder while shaping the neck. The front is then joined and knitted back and forth before joining the back and front to work in the round for the remainder of the body. Stitches are picked up around the armhole for the sleeves, which are worked in the round. All edges are bound off using the Italian bind-off technique. Finally, stitches are picked up and knitted in twisted rib along the neck edge. The 9th pattern is the Ethiopian Socks by Veronica Forsberg. It comes in 1 size 38/40 and length of 4½ inches tall, but those can easily be adjusted with different needle sizes and yarn weights. It suggests using a US 1½ and 2½ or 2½ and 3 millimeter needle size and a DK weight yarn in 2 colors to meet gauge. It's a colorwork designed pair of socks with a diamond and floral motif on the front and a solid heel, toe, and cuff. They are knitted in the round from the top down using a heel flap and gusset construction. She uses the magic loop method but suggests that DPNs could also be used if you prefer. The 10th pattern is the Stay Toasty Scarf by Veronica Lindberg. It comes in 1 size with a finished length of 59 inches from tip to tip and 7¼ inches at the widest part of the scarf. It suggests using a US 4 or 3½ millimeter needle size and 1 strand of DK weight yarn to meet gauge. However, you could use 2 strands of fingering weight held together. It's all about texture and style, most importantly keeping you warm. This design features a beautifully structured stitch pattern that is fully reversible. It adds both depth and squishiness to the fabric. It's knitted using only knits and purls, and she suggests that you'll quickly be able to memorize the sequence. The elegant I-cord edges give the scarf a polished finish, and the rhythmic stitches make for an engaging yet relaxing knit. What patterns do you have on your to knit list? We would love to hear about them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.